All right, fast reps are, in fact, the speed of execution, and I definitely recommend this type of exercise because it triggers an entire chain of reactions depending on how you train. The biggest problem, though, is that fast executions are not for everybody, meaning that you need a good foundational strength for that. So definitely approach this gradually with longer pauses and lesser volume overall, at least in the beginning. I'll explain more in a bit. However, the main advantages of fast executions are definitely strength development. I'll explain in a while why. It develops athletic performance, it improves velocity, then under certain circumstances it can increase muscular and strength endurance. It can also trigger muscle hypertrophy. However, I cannot say for sure to what extent though. I'll explain more. Let's take them one by one, but before that, if you enjoyed this type of content, please subscribe and help me grow this channel. I also have bodyweight training programs on my website, or I can design one for you if you want. Just email me at oldschoolcalisthenics@gmail.com or find me on Instagram. Now, fast repetitions or speed of execution will increase strength. How? Well, speed typically overloads the nervous system because it acts as resistance and pressure once you change direction or stop. According to Newton, it requires good acceleration, and along with your mass, they generate strength. When you speed up and change directions, you have to compensate for the force of inertia with acceleration. Mass stays constant though. This is why you improve your strength with fast executions or speed of execution. You basically train the nervous system that will unlock more strength eventually. I said that mass stay constant, so if you don't have mass, meaning muscles, you won't be able to speed up or accelerate effectively fast because muscles are in fact the ones your nervous system relies upon to provide the contractions required for the physical work or the mechanical work. In this case, you need to focus on hypertrophy training first with moderate and slow speed and exercises you can deal with easier. That's the first thing. Only after comes fast reps that trains this ability even further. After a time, as you build more muscle tissue, even without fast reps training necessarily, you will improve this ability as well. It's all connected, and that's why I said this type of training is not for everybody, but it will help you reach more athletic performance eventually if you stay consistent. Then, exactly like muscles, the nervous system tires up rather quickly. In a way, fast repetitions will improve or develop this ability to transmit nervous impulses to the muscles, but you need long pauses between sets and reps. If you rest briefly, you won't be training your velocity but muscular endurance. That's why I said that under certain circumstances, fast repetitions improve the velocity, speed, or strength endurance. But for velocity or speed, you don't need high rep ranges. You just need to imprint speed to any repetition possible or exercise, be it a sprint. Keep your sets high and your pauses long, but your reps low. However, one tip for you, focus on breathing techniques during your rest time. If you want to use fast reps to improve conditioning, the ability to perform under stress and pain prolonged, then use high rep ranges and shorter pauses. Nevertheless, different velocities and volumes imply different performances after all. But it's all tied up, and I think that consequently you can develop some more muscles. So get to the point where you can do fast reps, explosive movements, you focus on performance, resist pain and muscle fatigue or burn, and you will build more muscles. I'm also inclined to believe this from experience, obviously, and because of how muscle fibers work. When there is high acceleration speed, definitely from a point on, even if the exercise isn't so hard to do for a couple of rests, it will still employ and tear the whole muscle fibers, fast and slow to each ones. I explained in a video more details about the topic, so you can go check it out right here. But most importantly, you can contract and pull or push strongly and fast when flexing on the concentric part, but you can stop at the top for a second, come slower and rest another second before explosively contracting once more. Try to bring as much range of motion to every repetition, even though you're tiring up. Now, the negative part, called the eccentric part, is very important for hypertrophy. It's where your fibers are supposed to sustain and control the resistance while the tissue compresses to its original length. So in a way, the concentric phase will help you build more strength. Coming down slower will actually help for hypertrophy. This causes beneficial tears that trigger a rebuilding response, which is the muscle hypertrophy. That's how I believe fast reps work best for hypertrophy under this circumstance. In the footage you see here, I am mostly doing an execution more beneficial for strength endurance or training the capacity to resist pain and don't tire up so quickly. Now, to conclude, don't just do fast push-ups, squats, and pull-ups. Try to involve explosive exercise like jumping over obstacles, sprinting fast, clapping push-ups and pull-ups, because there's still a lot of speed going on there. It's high speed of execution, great resistance, high tension, and forces or sufficient forces generated by the force of inertia and gravity. If you can also respect a certain tempo like I gave you, that's even better. The tempo for this, if you want to focus on hypertrophy as well, I think it will be 1 or 2 seconds for the concentric part. Hold 1 second at the top, come back in 3 seconds, stay 1 more so you can eliminate the momentum, the force of inertia if you want, and then accelerate as strong as you can. If you use the momentum, once you come from the eccentric part and you want to rush into the concentric part, is okay as well. Just make sure you are executing in complete range of motion and try to compensate with much more acceleration than the actual force of inertia. I hope you understand. So this is it. I hope you understood a little about approaching this type of training. Subscribe and be patient for the next video. Thanks. By the way, if you have some questions, I am eager to read them. Leave them in my comment section below. I'll try to make videos upon them, so any kind of question you have, shoot. Thanks and salute.